RiRi breaks down to tears after A$AP Rocky's heartbreaking confession. No one was prepared for what happened that night. Not the fans, not the media, and certainly not Rihanna. What started as a quiet, intimate moment between two of the most powerful figures in music turned into one of the most heartbreaking confessions ever whispered behind closed doors. A confession so heavy, so emotional, that it left RiRi completely shattered, in tears she couldn't stop. A perfect love? Or so everyone thought. To the outside world, Rihanna and A$AP Rocky were the definition of unshakable love. They laughed together. They supported each other publicly. They built a family. They looked untouchable. Fans constantly said, "This is real love. This is endgame." They survived everything. But behind the smiles, behind the red carpets, behind the flashing cameras, there was a truth A$AP Rocky had been carrying alone, a truth that had slowly been tearing him apart. The night everything changed. It was late. The house was quiet. No entourage, no music, no distractions, just Rihanna and Rocky. RiRi noticed it immediately. He wasn't himself. Rocky barely spoke. He avoided eye contact. His energy was heavy, distant. Rihanna tried to lighten the mood, joked, smiled, touched his hand. Nothing worked. That's when she asked the question that changed everything. "Greater than, Rocky, what's going on with you?" He stayed silent. For a long moment, all RiRi could hear was her own heartbeat. A$AP Rocky's voice begins to shake. Rocky finally looked at her. His eyes were glassy, not angry, not cold, broken. "Greater than, there's something I've been meaning to tell you," he said quietly. "And I've been terrified to say it out loud." Rihanna felt her chest tighten. Her smile faded. She sat down slowly. "Greater than, you're scaring me," she whispered. Rocky swallowed hard. The confession that shattered her heart. "Greater than, I've been struggling more than you know," Rocky admitted. "With pressure, with fear, with feeling like I'm not enough." Rihanna frowned. "Greater than, not enough for who?" she asked. His answer came after a long pause. "Greater than, for you." That was the moment RiRi's eyes filled with tears. Rocky continued, his voice cracking now. "Greater than, you're strong. You're successful. You carry everything so gracefully. And sometimes, I feel like I'm failing you." Rihanna shook her head, tears already slipping down her cheeks. "Greater than, why would you ever think that?" she asked. Rocky's confession wasn't done. Not even close. The words that made RiRi break down. "Greater than, there are nights," he said, "where I lie awake thinking you'd be better off without me." That sentence hit Rihanna like a punch to the chest. Her breathing became uneven. "Greater than, don't say that," she cried. "Please don't say that." But Rocky kept going, because once the truth starts pouring out, it doesn't stop. "Greater than, I've been hiding how overwhelmed I feel," he admitted. "And I hate myself for not being strong all the time." Rihanna couldn't hold it anymore. She broke down completely. RiRi in uncontrollable tears. Her shoulders shook. Tears streamed freely. This wasn't a quiet cry. This was the kind of crying that comes from deep fear of losing someone you love. "Greater than, why would you carry this alone?" she sobbed. "Why didn't you come to me?" Rocky reached for her, but hesitated, afraid he'd already hurt her too much. "Greater than, because I didn't want to disappoint you," he said. That was it. RiRi collapsed into his arms. A woman who loves deeply. Rihanna cried harder than she had in years. Not because she was angry, but because she realized something painful. The man she loves had been suffering silently. "Greater than, you don't have to be perfect for me," she said through tears. "I just need you here. I need you honest." Rocky held her tighter. For the first time that night, he cried too. A moment that changed their relationship forever. That confession didn't end them. It exposed their vulnerability. It forced them to confront truths that fame, money, and success can't protect you from. Rihanna looked at him, eyes red, voice trembling. "Greater than, we face things together, or not at all." Rocky nodded. "Greater than, I promise I won't shut you out again." Why fans would be devastated if they knew. If the world knew how close this moment came to breaking them. Fans would be in shock. Because it proves something powerful. Even the strongest couples struggle. Even icons cry. Even love stories have painful chapters. The tears that meant love, not weakness. Rihanna's tears weren't weakness. They were proof of how deeply she loves. And Rocky's confession wasn't failure. It was courage. That night didn't destroy their bond. It reshaped it. Here's a very long, highly emotional, YouTube viral-style fictional story, written exactly to fit your dramatic storytelling formula down finger. Heart-shattering, slow burn, confession-driven, tear-filled, internet-breaking tone. RiRi breaks down to tears after A$AP Rocky's heartbreaking confession. No one expected this moment. Not the fans, not the media, and certainly not Rihanna. What began as a quiet, intimate evening between two of the most powerful figures in music slowly turned into one of the most heartbreaking emotional moments of their relationship. A moment that left RiRi sobbing uncontrollably, struggling to breathe, and questioning everything she thought she knew about love, sacrifice, and pain. The calm before the storm. It was supposed to be a peaceful night. No cameras, no red carpets, no flashing lights. Just Rihanna and A$AP Rocky, sitting together in a softly lit room, the kind of silence that only comes when two people have been together long enough to understand each other without words. RiRi was relaxed, laughing softly, comfortable, safe, but Rocky wasn't. Something was off. His smile didn't reach his eyes. His hands were restless. He kept pausing, starting sentences and stopping himself. Rihanna noticed. She always does. "Talk to me," she said gently. "What's going on?" Rocky took a deep breath. That's when everything changed. The confession that shattered everything. A$AP Rocky looked at her, not as a superstar, not as the mother of his children, but as a man about to break under the weight of something he had carried for far too long. "I've been lying to myself," he finally said. "And I think I've been lying to you too." Rihanna's smile faded instantly. Her heart began to race. "What do you mean?" she asked. Already sensing the pain coming, Rocky swallowed hard. "I've been trying to be strong for everyone," he continued. "For you, for the kids, for the world. But inside, I've been drowning." That's when Rihanna's eyes began to fill with tears. RiRi's face changes. Fans would later say they saw the exact moment her heart broke. Rocky confessed that he had been silently battling fear, guilt, and emotional exhaustion, feelings he never wanted Rihanna to carry with him. "I didn't want you to see me weak," he said, voice shaking. "I didn't want to become a burden in your life." Rihanna shook her head, already crying. "Why would you ever think that?" she whispered. But Rocky wasn't finished. "I've been scared that one day, you'll realize you deserve someone stronger. Someone who doesn't have cracks." That's when Rihanna completely broke down. RiRi breaks down in uncontrollable tears. She stood up, hands trembling, tears streaming freely down her face. "How could you carry that alone?" she cried. "How could you look at me every day and think I wouldn't want to hold that pain with you?" Her voice cracked. She began sobbing, deep, painful sobs that shook her entire body. Fans would later say this was the rawest emotional moment Rihanna had ever experienced, even more intense than anything she'd poured into her music. Rocky stood too, reaching for her, but she collapsed into his arms first. A love tested at its core. "I don't need perfection," Rihanna cried into his chest. "I need you, all of you, even the broken parts." Rocky's own tears fell freely now. "I was afraid of losing you," he admitted. "So I hid the truth." That sentence hit Rihanna like a knife. She pulled back, looking directly into his eyes through tears. "Love doesn't survive silence," she said. "It survives honesty." The moment that left the internet in tears. As the confession continued, Rocky admitted that he had been questioning whether he was enough, not just as a partner, but as a father. A provider, a man. Rihanna listened, crying, holding his face in her hands. "You are enough," she said repeatedly. "You have always been enough." The room was filled with tears, apologies, and raw vulnerability. No music, no glam, just two souls confronting pain head-on. RiRi's emotional collapse. At one point, Rihanna had to sit down, overwhelmed. She covered her face, crying uncontrollably. "I thought we promised no more walls," she sobbed. "I thought we promised to face everything together." Rocky knelt in front of her. "I'm here now," he said. "I'm not running anymore." Why this moment changed everything. This wasn't just a confession. It was a turning point. A moment that redefined their relationship. Fans who later heard about the emotional night said it proved something powerful. Even the strongest couples struggle. Even icons cry. Even love stories face breaking points. The aftermath, a stronger, deeper bond. By the end of the night, Rihanna's eyes were swollen from crying, but her grip on Rocky's hand was firm. No more hiding, she told him. No more carrying pain alone. Rocky nodded. I choose us, he said. And in that moment, through tears, heartbreak, and honesty, their bond didn't shatter. It deepened. Final thought. This heartbreaking confession didn't break Rihanna and A$AP Rocky apart. It brought them closer than ever. And fans everywhere were left emotional, reminded that real love isn't about perfection, it's about showing up, even when it hurts. Heartbreak Red Heart.